Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Vintage Cube draft. Now, we have several good opening picks. We've got Grim Monolith, Preordained, Counterspell, Opposition Agent, and Strip Mine. There's a Crucible of Worlds in this pack, which makes me want to take Strip Mine and try and wheel Crucible. Strip Mine we can play in basically any deck. Opposition Agent's probably one of the stronger cards. I'm gonna take Strip Mine. I have no idea what's gonna be open, and I don't want to force any of those cards. Taking Opposition Agent was almost certainly the correct pick, but I love Strip Mine almost as much as Caleb Gannon loves Strip Mine. So my beard looking especially on point today. Not sure why, but I dig it. All right, there's Tolarian Academy, which we can use to try and make a very broken deck. Let's see. I like Strip Mine in the green deck because of Ramanop Excavator and the other land destruction cards in that pack, like Primal Command. Let's see. The best generic card in this pack, I could probably take Arid Mesa and start going into white. If I had started opening like a Sol Ring or Mox or something like that, I probably would take Academy here, but I'm going to take Arid Mesa, and I'm going to try and like see if white's open. We'll pick Thalia, and then like if we can get a Rishadan Port and a Wasteland and Thalia and some other Death and Taxes style stuff, will probably win this draft because it's almost always open and it's very powerful. So we're going to be looking for it to see if it is, and if not, we will move into something else. Okay, there's Mom. Definitely very strong card. Coercive Portal, super good. Duretti's pretty good as well. Goldspan Dragon is a card that I actually think is really good after having like downplayed it as bad a few times and getting wrecked by it. I think that card's actually sweet. I think it's just a little bit taller than we want to go, and plus Mom is easily stronger in the right deck. There's like Glorybringer and stuff like that also in the 5-mana slot. So all right, if we want to go into the white deck, we can take Recruiter of the Guard. There's also Avalanche Riders. There's Valki, and we might be able to do like black-white because that is a reasonable thing. The only thing about Valki is we'll never cast the latter half of him, which may be fine. Yeah, I'll take Valki. I don't know if I'm like black-white, mono-white, red-white. We'll see. And if white's not open this draft, I'm going to be mildly annoyed. Okay, Usher of the Fallen I really like. There's a Mishra's Workshop. Man, I should have gone for the artifact deck. Char is good. I've been wanting to try this card out because it just seems really good in this format. I'm not a huge fan of Regisaur and really never have been. So we're going to take Usher. It might be a little premature to do that, but okay, we can take Gideon, Blackblade, Soulfire Grandmaster, Flame Slash is excellent removal. I can take Flame Slash and try and wheel Arcanist, or I can take Gideon and just have a good, basically 3-mana dude. There's also a Phyrexian Rager in this pack if we want to go black-white. Let me think. Red-white is more aggressive and possibly stronger. Black-white is more consistent and more interactive. I'm going to take Gideon, I think. I'm not a huge fan of Gideon, but... So we have Hazoret or we have Thraben Inspector. Hazoret is really good top-end and is very difficult to interact with short of Swords or Path. Thraben Inspector probably wheels. It doesn't get played in a lot of decks. I don't know if it's last pickable over a lot of these cards, but I can take Hazoret. I don't think Showdown of the Scalds is the card we want to be taking here. Ooh, Thalia. Oh, man! I only get to take one card from this pack, and Thalia, Sulfuric Vortex, and Chandra are all in the same pack. So I think the pick is actually between Thalia and Sulfuric Vortex, and we're much deeper into white than we are red at the moment. And Thalia, I think, is a lot stronger. So I'm going to take Thalia, but that sucked. Opposition Agent came around? Nobody took this card? That seems suspicious. I'm going to take Opposition Agent. Brimaz is pretty good. Opposition Agent can help fit into our mana denial plan with Strip Mine and Thalia, though, by, like, just denying our opponent's fetches. So I'm going to take that, and we're probably going to end up playing Orzhov rather than Mardu or Boros. I like Midian. I think a little bit more than I like Lingering Souls in this deck. If I was red, Zergo or Fire Blast would probably be the way to go. With Orzhov, we can stand to go a little bit taller, provided we get some, like, hand hate. I did not mean to take Goldspan Dragon, but I guess that's what I'm taking. I'll take a Banishing Light. I'll take a Char. Flame Slash came all the way around. Well, it could really go either way at this point, and it's going to depend on what kind of fixing we get. Literally all of the cards we have picked here are playable in some form of this deck, except maybe Showdown of the Scalds. I don't know if that's playable at any level. Like, it probably is, but... Okay, so Student of Warfare is probably coming around in this pack. Faithless Looting is better in the version of this deck that has, what's it called? Young Pyromancer and the Monastery Mentor. I think I take Mox Diamond, because anything that allows us to turn 1 Thalia is going to be great. Mox Diamond is also fixing, technically, because it taps for any color, which is pretty awesome. So even if we want to play something like Valki, we can. Something else from this pack is going to come around, and we definitely are taking a Mox here. Okay, so in this pack we have Giver of Runes, second Mom effect. We have Path. We do have some removal, but it's all red right now, except for Banishing Light. I think Giver is more likely to wheel than Path, and we already have Mom, which is the superior of the two effects. Giver is still great, but I think it's more likely to come around than Path, because Path wants to be played in the aggressive white deck as well as any control deck that's being played. So I'm going to take Path, despite its lack of synergy with Thalia. Now I could take Windswept Heath, which can also fix our mana. This is not a Seething Song deck. I could take Sword and speculate that we're going to get Stoneforge. We don't need Spire Bluff Canal. I hope Vryn Wingmare or Elspeth comes around. Sacred Foundry. We have 2 fetches that fetch Sacred Foundry, which is great. There's a Firebolt, Seasoned Hollowblade, Big Chad, Vindicate. A lot of good stuff in this pack. We definitely take the fixing here, because that potentially lets us splash one of our colors, maybe. Okay, there's a Soulscar Mage, which is a good 1-drop, but is better in the Prowess deck than any deck playing Thalia. It's probably still worth playing to get on the board early and get aggressive with. We're probably closer to red-white than we are Mardu or black-white at this point, so I think taking Soulscar is fine. This isn't really... Yeah, I don't think we can take Spirit of the Labyrinth, not over Soulscar anyway. Whoa! The old 4-dual take your pick pack. Wow, and there's a Bob here. Well, if I take Plateau, our red-white mana is perfect. So we have like 2 fetches, 2 actual duels that are fetchable, and a Swift Spear. I've never seen 4 dual lands in a pack, let alone this late into a pack. That's really interesting. I think Confidant would be stronger in our deck if I already had the fixing for Orzhov or Mardu. I hope Swift Spear comes around, but it will likely be taken. I think just making our mana as good as possible right now is where we should be. I will take Young Pyromancer. The old Young Pyromancer Thalia deck. I'm not really sure that's a deck, but we can try. Inspiring Vantage just keeps making our mana better. Siege Gang Commander and Linvala are both great. Kaya is playable, but I'll take the mana. So we have Lotus Petal, Abrade, Student of Warfare. Student of Warfare, I like a little bit better. Lotus Petal is another thing that can let us turn to a Thalia, but it's, if we're not doing that, potentially not strong enough. We could turn 1 a Gideon or an opposition agent off of this in Mox Diamond, though. I guess that's the only real consideration. I'm going to take Student. I want enough things to do early. Giver of Runes came around, that's great. Vryn Wingmare came around. This may not be a Young Pyro deck. Oh man. Okay, so we don't have any fixing for Orzhov, but getting it for Vindicate is probably reasonable. I think Seasoned Hollowblade is what we should take. Condemn is better in a control deck, and Hollowblade lets me be aggressive and turn my extra cards into indestructibility triggers for that. I'll take Spirit of the Labyrinth. I don't know if I'm playing it. Savannah is free, and Felidar Retreat into the sideboard. I don't think we play Felidar Retreat, although this could actually be a Felidar Retreat deck with the number of fetch lands and stuff that we have. Okay, this is really tough. So there's a Karakas, which can help us save Gideon, Thalia, Midian. There's a Rishadan Port, which is excellent in a deck like this, and there's Skyclave Apparition, which may be the best white card. Karakas is definitely better in the blue-white deck than the red-white deck, because you have access to Vendilion Click as well as like Venser, and it's just like a crazy powerful thing. I'm gonna, I think, take Skyclave Apparition, even though I think this card is the least likely to wheel, just because of the power level. Like, I could almost go mono-white at this point, if I take Skyclave Apparition, because it's aggressive as well as being a removal spell. It hits all permanents, and if it dies, it doesn't just give them that permanent back. I really hope Port comes around, but I don't think it will. Mind Twist. There's an Honor of the Pure, a Blood Crypt. I could take Blood Crypt, and that might help us splash black if we wanted to, but we only have a couple of black cards, so I don't actually think that's worth it. If I had like another Mox, I would take Mind Twist, because this card is just insane. Shatter Skull Smashing, I don't know about. Elspeth Conquers Death. I kind of need removal, but this is so expensive. I'm not really sure there's anything in this pack for us. I want to take Honor of the Pure, because it's very good in the white deck. And if we're playing mono white, like, we can play Honor of the Pure pretty easily. But this card will almost certainly wheel, so I want to take something that's a little higher value. I'll take the Blood Crypt. We've already, like, lost Confidant, though. Yeah, I'll take the Blood Crypt. I'm not convinced that was the correct decision. Okay, so there's a Lightning Strike, a Goblin Guide, and a Silver Blade Paladin. I can take the Lightning Strike, which helps us be aggressive, but like I said, we're pretty close to mono white. I could take Disenchant for that reason. We're kind of heavy in the 3-drop slot of whatever we're going to play, and I don't think Silver Blade Paladin is the pick. Lightning Strike synergizes with Young Pyro and Soulscar, but does not synergize with Thalia. So maybe I take Goblin Guide? Yeah, I'll take Goblin Guide. I mean, it's never hurt being this low to the ground, really. So I can take Badlands, or I can take Legion's Landing, and I think we take Landing. Emeria's Call will probably wheel. We're going to be too low to the ground for Coalition Relic. Hangerback Walker would be okay. We're not blue for Spell Pierce. Man, no one is picking Fixing this draft. I want to take Legion's Landing. There's Lightning Bolt. Figure of Destiny or Armageddon should wheel here. Lightning Bolt is too good to pass. Okay, there's a Land Tax. There's a Resto. I don't think this is a Birgi deck. I could take Shambling Vent and then play Opposition Agent, because we do have Blood Crypt, which is fetchable with Arid Mesa. I really like Resto, though. We have a couple of good flicker targets, at least from memory. Like, Valky is flickerable. Skyclave Apparition technically is. I'm going to take Shambling Vent. I don't think this is a Rakdos return deck. We already have Banishing Light, so we probably don't need Oblivion Ring. I think we take Pack Rat or Direfleet Daredevil. Hero of Bladehold is good top end, but we are already, like, we have Hazaret and Gideon already, and we even have Goldspan Dragon if we want to go higher than that. I think Pack Rat is the pick just simply because it's stronger by itself. Like, we can just play Pack Rat and then just start making tokens every turn, and it's very hard to deal with. Ashen Rider is not a card for us. I could take Nahiri. She's strong. She does loot through the end game, but I think Courier or Revoker is probably stronger. Revoker might be better for us. The only reason I'm considering Bombat Courier is because we have so many playable 1-drops. Like, we can just drop the curve and go super aggressive. So I think I'm going to take Courier. Rishadan Port came around. Nobody respected this card. I'm kind of sad that I have to pick it over Duress, but I'm still taking Port. We can take Honor of the Pure. Like I said, Elspeth Conquers Death is really strong, but I think it's just a little bit too much mana cost. Nobody took Opposition. I have no idea what people are drafting, but apparently it's all the same thing. Paladin is technically better than Anguished Unmaking, just as dude number X. I will take Badlands if I'm going to splash like Pack Rat, Opposition Agent. This helps a lot. Figure of Destiny. I could take Lyra if I wanted to have game against another aggro deck, but Figure of Destiny is just strong. Dark Dwellers, I'm probably not playing all that many cards. Dark Dwellers can flash back, and I think just having a big flash body is good. Hero Bladehold. Wow. Out of 45 picks, we got 45 playable cards and 11 pieces of fixing. Well, 9 pieces of fixing and 2 mana denial effects. This is the widest open I have ever seen red-white, ever. And this strategy is usually always open. Like, nobody picks white for some reason, despite it easily being the best thing you can draft because it's always open. So let's see if we can punish people for allowing us to have a deck this good. So let's group creatures separately and take a look at what we're dealing with here. Mox Diamond is technically a spell. It's not a land because you have to discard a land in order to use it. So I don't think we're playing Showdown of the Scalds. I could play Felidar Retreat because I do have so many landfall stuff. I have several fetch lands, like Windswept Heath, Arid Mesa, but I think we're going to be heavy at the top end anyway. Goldspan Dragon is taller than I want to go. I don't think I'm playing Valky. Although, in theory, if we flood out, he would be an amazing possible top deck. He does also interact with my opponent's hand. But we gotta give up something. I think Spirit of the Labyrinth is probably sideboard. Silverblade Paladin is not where I want to be. Char, I think, is a little expensive. Banishing Light is sideboardable. We have excellent 1-drops. We don't have all of that many instants and sorceries. Like, we have 3. So I think Young Pyro comes out. Let's see. I need to cut 2 cards. And I think the majority of our deck is white creatures. So I think Honor of the Pure still has a place, potentially. Because, like, we have 6 creatures it doesn't affect, and 11 creatures that it does. Plus Gideon's and Token. I don't want to cut any 1-drops because I like having a consistent early game, and we have excellent 1-drops. I think I'm going to cut Hero of Bladehold just because it's a little bit derpy. Like, Hero of Bladehold's very good, and I'm not saying it's not at all, but how many cards do we actually want to flicker? Not that many. So I think I'm going to drop Resto. Okay. So now we just play all of these except Savannah. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 black sources, which is amazing. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 white sources, which is great because it's our only double color. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 red sources. This is probably one of the best looking mana bases I have ever drafted for a deck, and we were not hurting for playables at any point, and I'm glad I picked the fixing. Because sometimes that's going to make the difference. It also helps when, like, we have Strip Mine Rishadan Port. I almost want to play a 17th land, just because of Mox Diamond and the fact that Strip Mine is kind of a spell. But we're going to try this out and see how it goes. So I will see you all in round 1. Alright. I actually think this hand is keepable. We can turn 1, Mox Diamond discarding a swamp, and, like, either play out Port or play Mom. If we draw a land, this hand gets even better. Opponent starts Mana Vault. We draw Arid Mesa. I think I'm going to play Port, play Mox Diamond, discard Swamp, and I'm just going to port my opponent's blue source on their upkeep. Next turn I can play Vryn Wingmare, and it's like casting a Thalia, which is sweet. Opponent plays a Swamp. I could also Skyclave Apparition their Mana Vault, which would be pretty dope as well. In fact, I'm pretty sure that sets them behind farther. So play Arid Mesa. We will fetch up a Plateau, play Skyclave Apparition, take out Mana Vault, pass the turn. Opponent untaps, plays an island, 3 mana. Is this an Ashiok? Stonecoil Serpent on 3. It's a nice protection from multicolored you got there, opponent. It'd be a shame if I had a monocolored answer. Alright, play Mom, go to combat. Hit our opponent for 2. Man, that would have been a 5-5 or a 6-6 if I'd not taken out that Mana Vault. Opponent plays a Swamp. They play Sling Gang Lieutenant, which we are not particularly intimidated by. We draw a Strip Mine. Do we play Gideon? Or do we Strip Mine them and Vryn Wingmare? Oh, man. Let's do the Vryn Wingmare play. This plays around Daze. Take out a blue source. And I'm just going to pass. I'm not going to attack into that. Because I want to protect Vryn Wingmare, and if I attack with Skyclave, I just immediately lose it. Opponent plays a Blood Crypt tapped. We draw Plains. Play a Plains. Play out Gideon Blackblade. Is this until end of turn? Okay. Uptick on Vryn Wingmare. I'm going to give it lifelink. Go to combat. Hit them for 2 in the air. Okay, we go up to 21. They go down to 16. I probably should have made Skyclave Apparition indestructible and then attacked for 4. The 2-mana main phase Brainstorm. That's what you want to see. This might be the best Fun Police deck I have ever drafted. FBI, open up! It's just like... He's cheating on mana. Opponent plays a tap land. and a 2-mana top. Oh yeah, this is all coming together. We untap. We draw a Lightning Bolt. So uptick on Skyclave. Give it Indestructible. Lightning Bolt. Sling Gang. Then we're going to port their island on their upkeep. Go to combat. Attack for a lot. We have Mom back up. Like, this is just straight nasty. So stop on my opponent's upkeep. They'll use the island to spin the top, probably. Yep. Opponent plays a mountain. They go to combat. They don't attack. You love to see it. We untap. Draw planes. Play planes. +1 on Skyclave Apparition. Give it Indestructible. Go to combat. Attack everywhere. Opponent chumps Gideon. Takes 4. Goes down to 5. Yeah, I think we give up on porting them for a turn. Just play other Gideon. Man, even on 5 mana, he's just good. They spin the top. Alright, opponent's turn. Six mana. Gilded Lotus. They draw a card. And they cast Time Walk. Alright. You get to take another turn. 3 more mana than you had last turn, but you're drawing a top. So you're only 1 more mana than you had last turn if you cast top. Tezzeret the Seeker. Top. Spin top. They can uptick Tezzeret to get mana from Gilded Lotus, or they can downtick to tutor for something, but I don't think Ensnaring Bridge is legal in this format, and I think that would be what it would take to actually save them. Alright. That was pretty nasty. We might want to play Spirit of the Labyrinth, because we're not really ever drawing extra cards. And it seemed like it might be decent against our opponent who's casting Brainstorm. I could take out an Honor of the Pure for it. Let's try that. Opponent has Time Walk. Yeah, I'll keep this. It's never generally a bad idea to lead on a Strip Mine. Opponent starts Mountain. Top. You know, opponent, I really hope you weren't relying on that top to find another land. Pass the turn. Oh, good. We untap. We draw Goblin Guide. Play Goblin Guide. Goblin Guiding into top sucks, but this is going to be a lot more damage in a lot shorter time frame. So opponent spins the top. We give them a Blackcleave Cliffs. They untap. So we basically undid any advantage we had with that Strip Mine. But it plays a Mana Vault, which we do not currently have an answer for. We draw Blood Crypt, go to combat, attack for 2. Opponent draws a mountain, goes to 16. Play Soulscar Mage, play Blood Crypt tapped, pass the turn. Well, we'd like to draw white mana next turn. That would be good. Opponent spins the top. Okay. Opponent untaps. They play a mountain. Pyroclasm. That's really bad for us. We untap, draw planes, play planes, and I think we play out Spirit of the Labyrinth here. Hollow Blade would be better, but or would be more resilient, but the odds that my opponent is actually going to draw some extra cards kind of going up. Alright, opponent untaps. And passes. We draw Figure of Destiny. Play a swamp. Go to combat. Attack for 3. Opponent takes 3. So play Seasoned Hollowblade. Play Figure of Destiny. Pass the turn. I may just ditch Path here, so we can have Hazoret coming down next turn. Capable of attacking no matter what we draw. 6 mana, opponent plays Wildfire. And we lose all of our lands. Opponent loses all of their lands. I'm going to ditch Path to make sure Hollowblade survives. You know what? Sure. Level up figure. So he can feel a little bit mightier as he dies. Yep. Opponent is in a little bit of an awkward position because they have a tapped Mana Vault and we have a 3-1 that survived. They do have a land. We draw a Lightning Bolt. Go to combat. Hit our opponent for 3. Yeah, and if they have damage-based removal, we can keep Hollowblade alive. They need to unsummon it somehow. Opponent spins the top. They untap. Mana Vault. They can't pay. They lose a life. No second land. They're top locked? Okay. They do have a second land. They Time Walk. They untap. Mana Vault. They still can't pay for it. They take a damage. They play a swamp. They draw with top. Seagate Stormcaller. Okay, the next card they cast is duplicated, and it's Preordain. That's pretty good. If we draw a mountain of some kind, we can bolt the Stormcaller and get in anyway, or we can just attack and discard Hazoret and then save bolt for our opponent's face. That's probably more reasonable. Especially since they have a Mana Vault that's draining them, we can save this for reach, and they won't think necessarily to do that unless they have to. Alright, we untap, draw planes, go to combat, attack for 3. Opponent blocks, discard Hazoret, kill Seagate Stormcaller. I'm going to save this planes just in the off chance I need to activate Seasoned Hollowblade twice. They can't untap, they take a damage. We have a lot of 1-drops, so if we draw a 1-drop, we can still play the 1-drop. If we draw another land, then we can play out a land safely. Okay, we untap, draw Bomat Courier. Opponent is still taking a damage unless they untap, so we can still surprise with a Courier. Yeah, I think I just attack. Attack for 3. No blocks. Opponent goes to 4. So this turn, if they actually untap Mana Vault, we can play Courier and get in for lethal next turn. So they pay for Mana Vault. They draw, they don't take a damage. They're passing. So we might get there. We untap. We draw a mountain. So play a mountain. Play Courier. I mean, unless they have like days. Just go to combat and get you. Because it's not like they have Warping Wail in this format. Nice! We got there! With the almost old, like, Seasoned Hollowblade carry. Card is so strong. I'll see you guys in round 2. That was dope. Alrighty, round 2, and we're on the play. This hand looks pretty good. I'm gonna keep. We're gonna lead on Mom. This is the least likely time for our opponent to have a removal spell that can actually answer her turn 1, and then if she actually sticks around, odds are our opponent will be in trouble. Opponent plays a swamp, Inquisition. So they can take Courier, they can take Student Warfare, or they can take Gideon Blackblade. I'm not sure what they should take here. Probably Courier or Student, because we can play both next turn. So I think Gideon Blackblade would be incorrect, unless they have no other ways to answer Planeswalkers, or they're worried about the clock somehow. Alright. They leave us with Courier. We draw Flame Slash. Play Rishadan Port. Play Courier. Go to combat. Hit them for 1. Exile a card out of our deck. Opponent takes 1 and goes to 19. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps, draws. Thought seizes us? Okay, yeah. You can thought seize. They take Gideon Blackblade. And they play a Misty. Alright. We untap, draw Plateau, play Plateau, go to combat, attack for 1. Opponent down to 16. So yeah, now we're just going to start porting, I think. Okay. So port the swamp. Opponent plays an island, passes. We untap, draw Goblin Guide. The only problem with playing Goblin Guide is we lose the ability to Bomat Courier or anything. But unless my opponent has a straight-up board wipe, we're probably okay. So, like, Toxic Deluge would be the concern, right? So this is enough for them to crack Misty. Probably is going to be a counterspell, I imagine. They get a green source. Go to combat. Attack, attack. So opponent reveals Baleful Strix. We exile another card. Hit them for 3. Pass the turn. Now, do we either port their black source or their blue source? They cycle Miscalc. Miscalc does not line up with 3 mana very well. I think they're more likely to have another blue source, but They're probably also more likely to have another counterspell as well. So we're going to port their island. That prevents them from casting Baleful Strix, unless they have another island. Oh, they had another black source. They're not willing to pay 3 life? What? Why? Oh, man. Okay. We untap. We draw Valki, God of Lies, who we cannot cast and in general probably don't care that much about. Go to combat. Attack, attack. Opponent reveals Brainstorm. Exile a card. So we can port their island again to stop them from casting this Brainstorm. That feels delicious. Alright, yeah. Stop on my opponent's upkeep. Port the island. Oh, I love Rishadan Port. It's super good. Opponent draws Brainstorm. We know they're holding Baleful Strix and Brainstorm. They play another Swamp. Gaunty, Lord of Luxury. We do not care. We have a Flame Slash for this. I think the best thing we could top deck is another red land, just so that we could Flame Slash and then still have Baumat Courier activation. Alright, opponent plays Mox Diamond, which I think is ours, just to get rid of it. Yeah, you gotta discard a land for that to work. Opponent passes. We untap. We draw Swamp. Play Swamp. Flame Slash Gaunty. Go to combat. We're still going to port their island, even though they have Brainstorm. Oh, we drew them a forest. Okay. 5th card under Courier. Stop on their upkeep. Port their island. They can Brainstorm in response if they want to. Okay. This may draw them another island. And if it does, they can then play Baleful Strix. If it doesn't, they'll play Forest. Probably. I could have played out Valki and stole Baleful Strix instead of porting because my opponent does have... We knew that my opponent would Brainstorm this turn. So that was an option. But I still think this is the better line. This gives us the most to do if my opponent somehow, like, the worst happens and they have 2 removal spells for Courier and we can't reload. Okay. Opponent draws a card. Plays a Forest. Eternal Witness. What do they pick up this turn? Thoughtseize. And we don't care about Thoughtseize. Sure. You can go ahead and take Gideon. I really wasn't planning on casting him. Like, I did not want to tap out of what's going on here. We untap. We draw Usher of the Fallen. So play Usher. Play Valki. Let's take a look at our opponent's hand, and then we can make a decision on what we're doing. They have Baleful Strix. Probe Lily. Take Strix. They have no targeted removal. Since they have no targeted removal... Unless they stuck targeted removal on top of their deck, we can probably safely use Mom here. But if my opponent blocks Baumat Courier, I think I'm just going to sack it and leave up Mom. Let's see what our opponent is drawing. Probably a land if they Brainstormed. They have ample opportunity to have put back a land in the right position. Leovold. Yeah, that doesn't matter. Not in the slightest. So we are actually going to give Goblin Guide protection from green, because we know our opponent does not have targeted removal, unless they cast Probe into it, which I suppose is possible. This doesn't say draw, so we can still Baumat Courier even if my opponent plays Leovold. They untap, they probe a hand of no cards, and we got him. That was brutal. That took forever, too. I think Spirit of the Labyrinth over Honor of the Pure again. But other than that, we just run it back. Opponent does have several cards that draw several, so they have Brainstorm. They have Leovold, which Spirit of the Labyrinth can stop them from drawing extra cards off of Leovold. Yeah, this is not the opponent that has Preordain. That was the last opponent. Sorry, there several similar cards got casted, and I kind of got lost. All right. We can definitely do better than this hand. This hand isn't bad, per se, but okay. We have no black-white duels, so we either have to start Giver of Runes or play Valki on turn 2, if we keep this hand. I could put back Valki, but then we're just playing cards into a Gideon. I think I'm going to mulligan one more time. Alright, put back Flame Slash and Plains, I guess. We'll get Inquisitioned. Yeah, that was always the concern. So opponent can take Pack Rat or they can take Goblin Guide. If I were my opponent, I would take Pack Rat. Even if I had an answer for Pack Rat, I would take Pack Rat. I would just take the damage off Guide, because Guide potentially draws me a card. Yep, they take Pack Rat. Okay, this hand is now really bad. Start Mountain, play Goblin Guide. Go to combat. Attack. Opponent draws a forest. Oh no. Alright. Down to 18. They play an island, which is not even the land we know about, to play a Signet. We untap. Draw plains. Play Windswept Heath. Let's go get a plateau. Play Legion's Landing. Go to combat. Hit our opponent for 2. We drew our opponent another land. I'm just now realizing. They play a swamp. 4 mana. Gonti. Alright, that's annoying. They get to take a card from our top 4. Who knows what it is. We untap. Draw Usher of the Fallen. Play Shambling Vent. Play Usher. The problem is we can't currently get through this Gonti, and we probably still have to attack to flip Legion's Landing. Opponent untaps. Okay, opponent stole our Gideon. Probes to see our planes. Okay, opponent having Gideon is pretty bad. I don't think we have an answer for that. We draw Seasoned Hollowblade, which, as good as he is, I don't think he's going to be enough. I mean, I suppose we just try and play it out. So go to combat. Attack with everybody at my opponent. We will not be able to attack down Gideon. Okay. Opponent reveals. Opponent has drawn 3 extra cards. No top deck manipulation. Uh-huh. That's pretty good. Yup. Make a token. Opponent takes 1. We gain 1. Yeah, and like, this is our top end. Yeah, I think I'll play it out. I really don't want to. I don't think it's winnable. Though I guess in theory it still might be. Alright, pass the turn. I think us mulliganing into my opponent drawing 4 extra cards from Goblin Guide probably is what lost us the game. Well, the Thoughtseize didn't help, because Pack Rat, we could like eventually make enough rats to kill our opponent. Basically like overwhelm any defense. Okay, opponent makes a soldier, or a knight. They play a land. Eternal Witness, picking up Probe. They play a Nighthawk Scavenger, which is a giant flying death touch. Take 2. I think with the lifelinking flyer, that's probably where I'm going to call it. There was like some hope that maybe my opponent was just holding all lands and like maybe we could get a few turns to Adanto our way back up, but yeah, we can't even protect Gideon, so alright. Let's hope for a much stronger opener, because this deck is definitely capable of it. I don't think we want Banishing Light. Yeah, alright. Run it back. We at least get to be on the play. Ooh, this is a Mox Diamond Opposition Agent Vryn Wingmare hand. I'm gonna keep this. This is potentially really strong. Now, I'm gonna play out Mox Diamond, even though I don't have anything I can play with it on turn 1. Because my opponent has Inquisition and Thoughtseize, I don't want them to take Mox Diamond, because this is our fixing for all of our colors, basically. Okay, opponent did mulligan to 6, so play out Inspiring Vantage, play out Mox Diamond, discard Mountain, and play Soulscar Mage. Now I really want to top deck a land and play either Vryn Wingmare or Opposition Agent. Opponent starts Island, probes us. They know what's happening. Alright, we untap. Strip Mine? Oh no! Okay. So we play Strip Mine, obviously. The question is, do we play Vryn Wingmare or do we play Opposition Agent? And I think the answer is Vryn Wingmare. Opposition Agent is better if my opponent's only other lands are fetches, but that's unlikely. Vryn Wingmare is going to be good almost regardless of what they have. And it makes Strip Mine better. Hit them for 1. Because like right now, my opponent will only be able to play a 1-mana spell. Which, if they have Thoughtseize or Inquisition, they can do that. They're going to play their fetch land now, because they know we have opposition. So they want to try and stop us from doing anything with that. They cycle Miscalc. Alright. If I draw another land, I'm strip mining and playing Opposition 8. Yes! Oh, this is disgusting. Say goodbye to your island. I'm doing this first so we don't get hit with a daze. Play Opposition Agent just in case of further fetch landing. Go to combat. So, like, we get absolutely bodied by, like, 2 lands Pyroclasm. 3 lands in Toxic Deluge if my opponent even has enough life to do that at that point. They play a swamp. They pass. We untap. Draw Sacred Foundry. Go to combat. Attack. Hit our opponent for 6. take them down to 9. Then we will play a Sacred Foundry tapped. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a Blooming Marsh. They have 3 mana. Is this a Signet? I've got a feeling this is a Signet. Otherwise, it's like an Assassin's Trophy. Or, I guess it can't be a Maelstrom Pulse. I don't... Collective Brutality, taking out Wingmare, draining us. We draw Giver, play Giver, go to combat, hit our opponent for 4. We still have Flame Slash to help clear the way. My opponent has definitely unlocked a lot of their mana now. They pitched Gaunty, though, so at least we don't have to worry about that. Opponent untaps. They know what's in our hand. I really hope they don't have a board wipe. Best top deck right now would be Hazoret. Toxic Deluge. Okay. Yep. Show me a Hazoret. They Inquisition our Flame Slash away. Come on, Hazoret. Dog Mom, I need you. Arid Mesa is not a Hazoret. Play Arid Mesa. The good news is we can cast any spell in our deck we can draw. Our opponent only has 2 cards in hand. They're missing a color of mana. Alright, opponent goes to combat and is passing. So we are going to fetch a Blood Crypt tapped. Untap. We draw Legion's Landing. That's good. Play Legion's Landing. We got a token. Opponent's turn. They play a Forest and pass. We untap. We draw Plains. I'm going to hold this one in hand because I don't think we ever need to go over 5 mana, and I could draw Seasoned Hollowblade. Attack our opponent for 1. We do have Lightning Bolt in this deck, so if we can get our opponent to take 1 more damage, we potentially have a Lightning Bolt for lethal. Opponent untaps. They draw Shelldock Isle. Okay. They get to dig through the top 4 of their deck. They hide away a card. They Maelstrom Pulse the token. That is a pretty desperate maneuver. We untap. Hazoret. Student of Warfare. Alright. Play Student. Level up. Level up. Level up. Hold Plains, pass the turn. I wonder if it's going to be worth trying to level up all the way for lethal. I mean, it is if we draw like a land again. Opponent brainstorms. They're trying to dig for an answer. Opponent Eternal Witness, getting back an island. Well, they will have an island to cast whatever's under Shelldock, and they do have a blocker unless we draw removal. They play Uro, they gain life. So if we draw removal that we can cast with a single red or a single white, we win the game. I think, does Hazoret also do it? No, but Hazoret is very hard to deal with. Level up. Level up. Go to combat. I'm going to leave back Student of Warfare just because the only reason I'm doing this is if my opponent has an Emrakul under that Shelldock Isle, we need to be able to take out either Creeping Tar Pit or Eternal Witness if it attacks. And next turn it's lethal by itself anyway, along with like Hazoret discard, she's lethal by herself anyway. So, actually if my opponent has Emrakul under that, we're dead to Shelldock Isle anyway, so I should have swung with Student of Warfare. I forgot that Creeping Tar Pit's unblockable. 4 mana. Opponent replays Uro. Forgot that was an option. Now if I attack with Student of Warfare into an Uro, Uro can actually trade with the Student, even if it is all the way leveled up. They play a Nighthawk Scavenger. We get a Figure of Destiny. Okay. So I play Figure. I level it up once. I level it up twice. So it becomes a 4/4, and the next turn I can level it up to an 8/8 flying first strike. I can get behind this. So level up, and level up the Student of Warfare, because this way if I draw a land, I can level up both. Pass the turn. Opponent has navigated this very well. I don't think I misplayed, though it is possible. Opponent attacks us for 10. They gain 3 and draw. They'll gain 4 from the Nighthawk Scavenger attacking. So block here because it's free. We go down to 14. And they play Leovold. We untap. Draw Gideon. So level up here. Now, if I attack, Legion's Landing flips immediately. Then I can level up and have an 8/8 first strike. They block here. We only do 13 damage. I could just attack as is, threaten to do the pump, and then I could play Gideon, make a blocker. Then we don't die on the backswing, I don't think. Because they have to block. If they don't, they'll take 21 damage. Alright, go to combat. I might be doing this wrong. So flip Legion's Landing. Opponent casts whatever's under Shelldock Isle. Questing Beast. Okay. So they just want a safer block. We flip Legion's Landing. I was going to say, that's a terrible block. Okay, so we first strike down Leovold. We're not going to pump there. They can animate Creeping Tar Pit. Then they attack for 7, 13, 17 damage. And I think our best bet is to make a token off of Adanto. They're also gaining a ton of life. Okay, I think we survive if I make a token off Adanto. And they don't have instant speed removal for it. I could have spent all of my mana to do 4 more damage, but then I would definitely just die. So pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They animate Tar Pit. They go to combat. Are they just attacking with Tar Pit? Okay, I didn't think so. So make a token. They gain life. No land. Block here. We take 11 and gain 1. We go to 4. Opponent goes up to 15. And they have Questing Beast as a blocker. I think I need to draw a land, actually, to be able to attack. Nope, they have Chupacabra. I think we're just dead. Because we were relying on having that power in the air. We don't have enough blockers for the stuff on the ground. Gideon Blackblade. I think that changes things, because I can give Hazaret Lifelink or the Student of Warfare. I can also give them Vigilance. Man, the game is lagging so bad. Play Gideon Blackblade. Plus, on Hazaret, she needs to have lifelink, otherwise we don't survive the swing. Go to combat. Attack for 5. And I think still making an Adanto token is better than playing out Gideon. We only have 2 blockers, though. So I could block, like, Uro, Questing Beast, and then take 9, gaining 1. Opponent has to have no other creatures with haste, no removal, no extra points of damage anywhere for this to work. Control Magic? Alright, that's a game. We needed both blockers. Now, I could have attacked with Student of Warfare, but I actually would have gained less life. They would have only put one thing in front of it to block, and then we would have just done the first strike and lost. The other hit would not have gained us life. Good games, opponent. Good games. What a very, very strong match, too. Alright, well, I will see you all in round 3. Long queue times today. Alrighty. Round 3, and we are on the play. I will be keeping. We've got a good Legion's Landing, Valky, Vryn Wingmare hand. We even have a Strip Mine if we want to take a turn off, depending on what my opponent starts for their land. So if they start like a particularly high power land like Workshop or something, we can get rid of it. Or Ancient Tomb. That's like destroying 2 lands at once. Opponent starts Overgrown Tomb. Tapped. Dang. It's just... Birds. Alright. We untap. We draw Rishadan Port. Go to combat. There's some... Like, maybe we should play Valky here. Just because my opponent could be accelerating into like a Tireless Tracker or a Courser. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Play Valky, God of Lies. Opponent has Terastodon, Solemn Simulacrum. Exile it until Valky leaves the battlefield. They have Groll Signet, Mana Vault. I'm gonna take Solemn, because that's a ramp payoff for them. It's not much of an improvement for Valky, but... At least we know what's going on now. Hopefully we draw like Skyclave Apparition to take out the Broken Mana Rocks. Okay, opponent plays Wooded Foothills. Cracks Wooded Foothills. Gets a Tropical Island. Into a Mana Vault. Plus Groll Signet. They have 7 mana. They're actually only 1 mana away from playing Terastodon, which is really scary. So I think I'm going to strip mine their black source, so they can't Casualties of War. Then we're going to hit them for 3. Next turn we'll probably play Port into Vryn Wingmare. If they play a land next turn, we may want to just Port rather than playing Vryn Wingmare to try and keep them off of Terastodon. I honestly didn't do the math for the mana right. I thought they didn't have the mana to cast Terastodon. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. But they don't have double black, so they can't cast Casualties. Otherwise, that would be very bad for us. They still can't cast Casualties, thank you. Bloodbraid Elf. Alright. They cascade into Courser of Kruphix. That's pretty good. Golos on top of their deck. So we untap. Well, they probably attack us, but we untap. We untap. We draw Gideon. Play Rishadan Port. Pass the turn. We're gonna tap Trop on their upkeep. Okay. So they draw Golos. Eternal Witness on top of their deck. Okay, opponent attacks us for 3. We'll take 3. They're tapping Mana Vault here to play Golos. That's good news. That means we can take a turn off of porting if they're doing that to play Gideon. Okay, here's Golos. So they're shuffling away Eternal Witness, probably hoping to hit a land on top of their deck for Courser. And they do. That's... Oh man, they're going to have a Terastodon. What can we do about this? Not a lot. They'll have 6 mana when they untap. And they do have double black because of Casualties. What is our best move? We can turn Valki into Solemn Simulacrum. That way when he dies to Casualties, he doesn't do that much. We don't give them back a Solemn. If I play out Gideon, he just immediately gets Casualtiesed. I don't think we have a way out of this. I think we have to have a lot higher pressure to begin with. So I'm going to go to the next game. We'll be on the play. I think I want Banishing Light in this matchup over Honor of the Pure. And we'll try it like that. Alright, round 3 we get to play, or round 2 we get to play first. Double 1-drop on opener is probably good enough. Alright, so on our opener, let's go Sacred Foundry untapped, Mox Diamond, Pitch Shambling Vent, Soulscar Mage, Goblin Guide, hit our opponent for 2. Opponent is drawing an Eternal Witness. So if we draw any untapped land, and my opponent starts like Mana Acceleration, we can deal with it with Skyclave. Play Figure of Destiny, Bolt the Bird, because my opponent relies on color fixing as well as Mana Acceleration. Hit our opponent for 4. They draw an Overgrown Tomb. They take 4 and go to 14. They don't shock Overgrown Tomb. We untap and draw Gideon Blackblade. Level up Figure. Go to combat. Hit them for 5. They're drawing Showdown of the Scalds. I didn't know anyone was playing that card. Opponent plays a forest. They pick up birds. We untap. Draw Valki. You know what? Go to combat. Swing out. Opponent draws a mountain. Okay, they trade with Figure. They go to 6. We play Valki. We know they're at least holding birds, and we can take that. Tireless Tracker, Birds of Paradise. They have Channel. 2 mountains, Plow Under. If they draw a forest, they can channel Terastodon, and we might be in trouble. Tracker, they can play next turn and get a token. So I feel like we take Tracker. Pass the turn. So we know about the mountain and the showdown. Okay. If they drew a green source, channel Terastodon is in our future. And they can just blow up 3 of their own lands, and then what are we going to do about it? Opponent plays a mountain. They drew Solemn. Solemn is a pretty good draw for them here. I would really like to draw a land so we can Skyclave Apparition, because I'm pretty sure that would just clinch the game. Opponent gets an island. We untap. There it is. There it is. Skyclave Apparition. Oh, they can't channel Terastodon. What am I thinking? They don't have the life to channel. Oh, all right, that worked. And it's good. All right. We'll just run it back. I could play Char, but I think we're good. Oh man, if this hand had white, it would be so good, but I think we gotta mulligan that. This is technically better. I am going to put back Giver of Runes here. And we're going to try curving Hollow Blade into Opposition Agent. Hopefully that will be enough. We untap and draw Gideon. Start Shambling Vent, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play Lotus Cobra, which is a problem. We draw Goblin Guide. Play Hollow Blade. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Hopefully they don't have a fetch land this turn. They play a Taiga. Lotus Cobra. Adding red. Avalanche Riders. Probably blowing up Shambling Vent. Ooh, okay. I mean, this does take us off of basically everything we were planning on doing. Opponent goes to combat. No attacks. Passes. We untap. We draw Windswept Heath. Play Mountain. Play Goblin Guide. Go to combat. Attack, attack. If my opponent blocks Hollow Blade, I will be pitching Gideon. And they're trading off the Cobra. Alright. Pitch Gideon. Pass the turn. Opponent's drawn a Mana Vault this turn. The old colorless Dark Ritual. If they just leave it sit around on board, I'll be tempted to Banishing Light it. Eternal Witness. They're going to pick up Avalanche Riders. Oh, that's a jerk move. And they play Mana Vault. We untap and draw Blood Crypt. So they're blowing up a land this turn. Would I rather... I think we have to play Banishing Light. We know they're blowing up a land, so I'm not going to attack because I really think I might need a land. I can't fetch a black source. Oh, I have 2 black sources. It's fine. I was going to say, uh-oh. Here comes the Stone Rain. Blowing up Shambling Vent. Opponent passes. We untap. We draw Valky. Play Windswept Heath. Pass the turn. I think we're just going to flash an Opposition Agent on their end step. This will be really good if they Natural Order or something like that. They untap. Avalanche Riders has an Echo cost. They're paying it. Okay. They play Wooded Foothills. Oh, we're going to get them. Maybe. They're passing. We untap. We draw Legion's Landing. Pass the turn. I don't know if they know about Opposition Agent or not. Fetch Plateau. Play Opposition Agent. This was worth it. So Wooded Foothills. I can take their Trop, or I can take their... I get to see their deck, too. I can take their Tropical Island, or I can take their Overgrown Tomb. It's not their only fetch, either. They have a Verdant. I think, given what I'm seeing here and what they have on board, so they're probably holding Casualties of War. If I take Overgrown Tomb, it might be hard for them to cast it. Although, maybe I should have taken the Trop just to have a painless land next turn if I want to play 4 lands. Okay, Bloodbraid. Wheeling into... Hydroid Krasis. That is not a good wheel. That's pretty funny. When it goes to combat, swings out. I don't really think I need Valky, so I'm fine pitching him here. We take 4. Untap. Draw Plains. Play an Overgrown Tomb. Tapped. Play a Legion's Landing. Make a 1/1. Go to combat. Hit our opponent for 6. Opponent plays a Forest. Goes to combat. No attacks. We untap. Draw Student of Warfare. Play Student. Pass the turn. I think this Opposition Agent might be doing some work for us right now. I don't know if they have Chord or anything like that, but... Oko. Alright, there's Oko. What's he gonna do? What are you gonna elk, buddy? Make a food. Alright. So opponent is passing. We untap. We draw Badlands. Play a Plains. Level up. Level up. Go to combat. Attack Oko. Attack Oko. Attack my opponent. Flip Legion's Landing. See how my opponent blocks. They kill the vampire token. They make us discard the Badlands. Oko's going to take 3. Not that that matters. We don't have white mana, so there's no reason to hold up a Danto. We'll just level up this creature again. Pass the turn. They animate the food into an elk. We untap. Draw Mox Diamond. So level up. Go to combat. Attack Oko. Attack Oko. Problem is, Oko is going to buy them enough time to do whatever they need to do. Opponent blocks there. So discard Mox Diamond. Oko's going to take 3 and go to 1. Okay, pass the turn. We killed Avalanche Riders. Opponent untaps. Sorry, I'm trying to get this picture. Psst, 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 psst. The cat that we're watching and the dog are hanging out on the stairs. And they're not like crowding each other or anything, they're just kind of hanging out. It's really cute. And that's the closest I've seen them be together, like, and be comfortable. So I needed to get a picture of that. I'll post it in the Discord. Links in the description below if you want to join and look for the Aminals and Pets. Purposefully misspelled channel. All right, we untap. Draw Bombat Courier. Play Bombat Courier. Go to combat. Attack Oko. Attack Oko. Attack Oko, attack our opponent, attack our opponent. We exile a card. I almost want them to just block Seasoned Hollowblade, but that would only be bad. That would actually turn out bad if they had a board wipe, though. Opponent blocks the Bombat Courier, so we'll just draw a card. Figure of Destiny. Oko down, opponent takes damage. We'll hold Figure in hand to make Hollowblade indestructible, even though he would be kind of good. I think we have to kind of keep our board the way it is at the moment. Opponent untaps. Woo! We got there! Alright. Hope you guys enjoyed this iteration of Vintage Cube. If you did, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined, and remember you can follow me on Twitch. Same username over there as you find me on here. I stream Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, both US time zones. And it's been a lot of fun, the last few that we've had. Sorry, the cat's like creeping by and it's so funny. I wish I could bend the camera and show you, but I can't because my monitor's in the way. But yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next one. You're all wonderful human beings. Thanks for watching. Bye.